All right, let's jump right in. We're going to explore a really powerful idea today, one that could honestly change the way you write forever. It's a mindset that's inspired by, of all people, Martin Luther King Jr., and it's all about making this one huge shift, moving from writing as a performance to writing as a service. It's this realization that the words that truly matter aren't about the writer at all. They're about the reader.
I mean, this quote just nails it, right? The words that change the world are the ones that served it first. This is really the heart of what we're talking about today. It's not about being clever or impressive, it's about being genuinely helpful. So let's look at maybe the greatest example of this in history.
Okay, I want you to picture this. The date is August 28, 1963. You're standing at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The air is electric and you're surrounded by 250,000 other people. This isn't just any day, it's a turning point in history, and a speech is about to be given that people will talk about for generations.
But here's the wild part. What if I told you that the most famous, most powerful, most quoted line from that entire speech was never even in the script, that it was completely off the cuff?
Yep, that's right. This brings us to the incredible story behind the I Have a Dream speech, a speech where the most legendary part wasn't written down at all. Let's get into what actually went down that day.
So Dr. King goes up to the podium, and he's got a prepared text with him. And look, it was a good speech. It was all about the really critical issues of economic injustice and legal barriers that Black Americans were facing. It was solid, it was important, and it was absolutely necessary. But if he just stuck to that script, we probably wouldn't be talking about it today. And then, this is the moment. This is the pivot point. About halfway through, the amazing gospel singer Mahalia Jackson, who is standing near the stage, felt that the written words weren't quite landing with the soul they needed to. So she just calls out, "Tell 'em about the dream, Martin."
And in that instant, Dr. King makes a choice that changes history. He literally pushes his typed notes aside, he looks up at that sea of faces, and just starts speaking from his heart, channeling all the pain, all the hope, everything that crowd was feeling. He stopped performing a speech and started serving the people.
That moment right there, it perfectly illustrates this fundamental shift we're diving into, the difference between performance and service. That one decision is the ultimate case study for this whole idea. So what do we even mean by writing as service? Well, it's pretty simple. It's about creating work that genuinely helps your reader. You're trying to solve a problem they have, or clear up some confusion, or just help them through a challenge. And here's the key. You're prioritizing their transformation over your applause. And you can really see the difference in the questions you ask yourself. The performance mindset is always asking things like, how do I sound? Or does this make me look smart? But the service mindset, it asks totally different questions. It asks, what do they need? Does this actually solve a problem for my reader? Am I respecting their time? Just changing the questions you ask can change absolutely everything about your work. And the stakes here are huge, because one of these approaches builds an ego, and the other one builds movements. Performance gets you a little bit of temporary recognition. Service, though, that creates lasting impact.
Okay, so we get the what, but how do we actually do this? Let's walk through 5 concrete steps to making an impact, all inspired by Dr. King's approach, and break down how we can use this framework in our own writing.
This table basically lays out the entire roadmap. First, you listen. You have to truly understand your audience's pain, just like King knew his. Then you name the need. You say, I see this specific problem you're facing. After that, you offer a vision, painting a picture of what a better future could look like to get them motivated. Step 4, you give tools, not just inspiration, but actual practical steps. And finally, you measure impact, focusing on your reader's outcome, not just empty stats like page views. That's the path.
And here's the really beautiful part. When you get this right, when you truly write to serve, the writing itself almost becomes invisible. It just disappears into the reader's own transformation. They don't walk away thinking, wow, what a clever writer. They walk away thinking, wow, my problem is solved.
All right, let's bring this all home. This last part is all about taking this idea and using it to forge your own path, to create work that has real, lasting impact. It's about writing to help, not to impress.
You know, let's be real. The advice we all hear constantly is build your personal brand. We're told we need to have this unique voice, get our name out there. But this framework suggests that maybe, just maybe, that's a trap. It's often just performance thinking with a new coat of paint. Because here's the fundamental truth that cuts through all that noise.
Readers don't care about your brand. They care about their problems. They aren't scrolling through the internet looking for an author to admire. They're looking for someone who can help them with what they're struggling with.
So how do you start doing this like today? Here are a few super practical things you can try. Go back and audit your last couple of articles. For each paragraph, ask, is this serving the reader or is it serving my ego? Try reframing your titles so they sound like solutions. And maybe the biggest one, start tracking testimonials from people you've helped instead of just obsessing over traffic numbers. These little shifts can make all the difference.
And that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? We'll just leave you with this one final question. Your reader has a problem. The only thing left to figure out is, how will you serve them?